Hello, this is Lisa Luciard. It's Mother's Day, and we are putting our hearts and our strategic negotiations right away to get these hostages out. Right away. I showed you the clip of what we're going to do, and we need to bring back negotiations right away with the Muslim Brothers and give Hamas what they give them funds to get out, and also a coalition of the countries to come together. My name's Lisa Lucia Arden, to make negotiations together. And this is terrible because they should have had already the international negotiations of hostages. You never allow something to go this far. Even if Hamas wasn't going to release them right away, there still should be a pen and a paper and a voice and a coalition and a group to come together for a peace treaty, and never stopped until it's done. And also strategic ways to bring together new laws, because now this is in the history of human life, the way these hostages have been treated. Never in the time of the domesticized world has this ever, the greatest atrocity of Hamas has done of hostages and people. The Jews said they would never allow that to happen after the Holocaust. And now Hamas is trying to take down the Jews and the people. People don't talk about this, that Netanyahu is chosen actually as a leader like Moses to protect EU and America for all non-Jihad Muslims. The Jihad Brotherhood wants to take over. There's many points here that people are overlooking. It needs to be done right away. Now let's see what this other gentleman says.
Take a live look at your screen. This is the very latest from Israeli Defense Forces. They say, quote, watch, the IDF has begun operating a forward mobile triage facility in southern Syria near a village there. This is part of ongoing efforts to support the Syrian Druze community and ensure their safety. They go on to say the IDF continues to monitor developments and remains at peak readiness for defense in various scenarios. Of course, we know with conflict in the Middle East, we know Israel is facing forces from all sides, the Yemen Houthi rebels, Hezbollah out in Lebanon, and of course, Hamas.
See, did you hear that? Israel is facing, because it's a plan of the Jihad brothers with money backed by Iran. From all sides, they're facing Syria, Lebanon, Hamas. Are you with me? And they're overlooking that. And those hostages should have been taken back right away. And the international community of coalition need to come together and begin this very moment and come back to the table and speak and write peace treaties and come together and a coalition to come together. I asked them all to come before to take all the Palestinians out. I asked the first month of October when it happened, because I knew this was going to happen. It was a divine command. Netanyahu is like a Moses protecting all EU and America. But there needs to be negotiations now. And we need to stop and cease fire right away and come together and ask the Muslim brothers to give a gift to Hamas to get them out.
There in Gaza, we are following updates as relates to Hamas, learning that as the Israeli briefing is about to get underway, there is uncertainty this Thursday, new uncertainty surrounding the hostages still in Hamas captivity. Let's head to Tel Aviv, Israel, and check in with the Israeli government spokesman for the latest details.
This is true news. This is real news.
Good afternoon, everyone. Shalom, I'm David Mensa, spokesman for the National Public Diplomacy Directorate in the Prime Minister's office. Today it's Thursday, May the 8th, day 580 since the October 7th atrocities, but also 80 years since VE Day, the day the Nazi regime, history's most evil machinery of genocide, was defeated. 80 years ago, the Shoah, the systematic murder of 6 million Jews, finally came to an end. Hitler was defeated, the crematoria went cold, the gates of the death camps swung open, the world vowed never again. But 80 years, unfortunately, is not such a long time. Today, in Europe, in Germany, where the final solution was born, Jews are again afraid to wear a kippah, from the left to the right, from radical Islamist extremists. Anti-Semitism is unfortunately rising once more. That's not just a tragedy, it's a betrayal of the memory and of morality and of the vow never again. So while Israel honors and remembers the sacrifices made on the altar of freedom, Israel also ensures that never again is not just a promise, but for Israel it's a policy. For Israel it's backed by strength, and for Israel it's upheld with resolve, and for Israel it's heard by every enemy of the Jewish people wherever they may be. Next, on the threat across the Syrian border, Israel won't allow the transfer of forces and munitions south of Damascus. These attempts have been thwarted. Why? Because they threaten our citizens and our armed forces. IDF forces are defending the Druze villages in southern Syria, and I can share with you, as announced today, that Israel has begun operating a forward mobile triage facility in southern Syria near the village of Hadar. Israel is supporting the Syrian Druze population and will ensure their safety. Next, on the situation in Gaza, let me be clear with you about the humanitarian situation in Gaza. Gaza doesn't face a humanitarian crisis, it faces a Hamas crisis.
See, that's what I said, that it's the Hamas crisis. That's why in the beginning in October, the first or second week, it was a divine command that all the Palestinians need to be taken out because they were going to cause trouble, and they use the Palestinians as a human shield. And they are backed by Iran. I said that earlier on. And now Iran and all the Jihad Brotherhood, that's what I believe, all those people at every side, even though they're different people, Lebanon, Syria, Hamas, okay? They are all together and for one purpose, to bring down the Jews, and also EU, Christians and believers indirectly. And they're supported by Iran. And there's big money there. And they use their own brothers and sisters, the Palestinians. Did you hear me? They use their own brothers and sisters as a human shield. I told them that last year. I said the human shield, and they're finally using that. Let's go and get them done and get a coalition together of all international meeting right away and what new laws are for hostages. This has never happened in a domesticized world. The way people are treated as hostages. And they're trying to say that Netanyahu has war crimes. They have war crimes. He wanted all the hostages back, but they didn't deliver them.
Hamas steal the aid. They prolong this.
See, Hamas steals the aid. We saw that, and I said that early on this month and before. And even our beautiful Pope Leo XIV said today that make sure the Palestinians get aid. But I'm asking all the people to come together, the leaders, to make new rules, new laws, and begin with a pin at the table of truth. And you have the flame of authority when you ask in justice to bring justice and bring these hostages back home right away.
They are to blame. Israel's experts are in constant coordination with international partners.
Hamas is to blame.
Improve the humanitarian situation.
Hamas is an ISIS organization that doesn't care about any life.
During the hostage release pause, this aid was meant for civilians, for Gazans. Hamas stole it. Now, Israel is actively exploring mechanisms to ensure the future aid reaches only those in need and not the Hamas terrorist regime.
See all that, and you forget what Israel did they protected us 2 years ago. There's a special book, look it up. I don't know the book's title, but they got out and took down a leader in Iran that was making nuclear warfare that's hooked up with Hamas. They took him down to save us, to save EU, save America, because they want to make nuclear warfare. And then also that we need to realize that the leader of Hamas that was killed in one of the strategic military actions under Netanyahu, pinpointing, the Israel saved his life, and they did brain operation on him, and he still came back to fight for Hamas.
All the while, Hamas can end this war and ease the suffering in Gaza today by releasing the 59 hostages.
So I asked you, brothers, to take down the 1,418 people died on October the 5th. How many was it? Think about it. That's a lot to just go and then do torture. I don't even want to say the crimes, and also to have these hostages. You need to reflect what they should be. Give them new life if they're not going to let down their tools now, because eventually if they continue to do this, they'll be gone off the face of the earth. This is very serious. Save your life, Hamas.
Israel not let Hamas starve Gaza and blame Israel. What must see through this cruel manipulation? It's a tragedy that children in Gaza are suffering, but clearly they are suffering at the hands of Hamas. The real tragedy is that the UN says little about Hamas using.
Yes, the UN gave money, and I said this before early on. Educate the Hamas children to go against, and they knew they were doing Israel. And even a lady that was Israelite I met last week, she said that the children are taught to use guns. The Palestine children and guns, and teach them to hate Israel. And the UN knew this, and they allow this. And they don't use proper negotiations. They should have thought of taking them out, but they don't listen.
Gazans as human shields. The UN silence, unfortunately, is shameful. The blame lies with Hamas.
That's right. And that's why I said they're used as human shields. Brothers, Hamas, they're going to take you down no matter what. You need to let go. This very moment, let down your tools and go to a new land. This is a divine command by the God of Abraham.